The rain tasted of ash, not the clean, crisp scent of a winter fire, but the bitter, choking residue of something consumed, something lost. Elias Thorne, a private investigator specializing in matters unusual, found it fitting. He's been tracking a whisper for weeks, a rumor of a cursed music box, said to bring misfortune to anyone who possessed it. Now, standing before the crumbling gates of Blackwood Manor, he felt the weight of that curse pressing down on him. Blackwood Manor wasn't just old, it was steeped in sorrow. Local legend claimed it was built atop an ancient burial ground, a place where the veil between worlds was thin. The Blackwood family, once pillars of the community, had vanished without a trace almost a decade prior, leaving behind only whispers of madness and despair. Elias had been hired by a nervous antique dealer, Mr. Abernethy, whose client had acquired the music box at an estate sale and was now plagued by nightmares and unsettling occurrences. The wrought-iron gates groaned open as Elias pushed against them, the sound swallowed by the relentless rain. The manor itself was a Gothic monstrosity of shadowed turrets and decaying grandeur. Ivy choked the walls, obscuring grotesque gargoyles that seemed to leer down at him. He flashed his credentials to the taciturn groundskeeper, a man named Silas, whose eyes held a disconcerting emptiness. "Mr. Thorne," Silas grunted without a trace of warmth. "The master doesn't receive visitors, especially not at night." "I have a business proposition," Elias replied, his voice tight against the damp chill, "regarding an artifact recently acquired by Mr. Abernethy." Silas's gaze narrowed, but he stepped aside. "Follow me." The interior was even more oppressive. Dust lay thick on the ornate furniture, and the air was heavy with the scent of decay and something faintly floral, but unsettlingly sweet. Silas led him through a maze of corridors, each more shadowed and unsettling than the last. Finally, they arrived at a heavy oak door. "The library," Silas said, his voice a monotone whisper. "The current occupant is in there." Elias pushed open the door. The library was vast, lined with towering bookshelves that seemed to stretch into the darkness. A single lamp cast a sickly yellow light on the room's central figure, a man seated in a high-backed armchair, a music box resting on his lap. He was tall and gaunt, with wild, unkempt hair and eyes that burned with an unsettling intensity. "Mr. Thorne," the man said, his voice a low, resonant rumble. "I'm Dr. Alistair Blackwood. I trust you've come about the malady." Elias nodded slowly. "Mr. Abernethy contacted me. He's concerned about the effects the music box is having on his client." Dr. Blackwood chuckled, a dry, brittle sound. "Effects the music box may reveals. It peels back the layers of reality, exposing the truths that lie beneath. He warmed the music box." A tinkling, ethereal melody filled the room, both beautiful and profoundly disturbing. Elias felt a strange pressure in his head, a sense of disorientation. "My family has guarded this artifact for generations, Dr. Blackwood continued, his eyes fixed on Elias. "It is a key, you see, a key to unlocking dimensions beyond our comprehension." As the music played, Elias began to perceive things, flickering shadows in the corners of his vision, whispers that seemed to slither into his mind, images of grotesque, alien landscapes. The scent of ash intensified, choking him. "What is it doing?" Elias gasped, clutching his head. "Revealing, Dr. Blackwood repeated, his smile widening. "It is showing you the chorus, the song of the Old Ones." Elias recognized the term. The Old Ones were beings of immense power, entities that existed outside of human understanding, rumored to be responsible for the creation and destruction of worlds. Their existence was relegated to the fringes of folklore, dismissed as fanciful tales. Until now, suddenly, the melody shifted, becoming discordant, chaotic. The shadows intensified, swirling around the room like living entities. Dr. Blackwood began to tremble, his eyes darting wildly. "The connection is too strong," he cried out, his voice strained. "The Old Ones, they are listening." The music peaked, the crescendo of unsettling beauty and impending doom. Then abruptly, it stopped. The shadows receded. The scent of ash faded slightly, and the pressure in Elias's head eased. Dr. Blackwood slumped back in his chair, his face ashen. "It's weakening," he whispered, his voice trembling. "They've tasted our reality. They will return." Elias stared at the music box, now silent and innocuous looking. He knew he had to give it away from Blackwood Manor, away from anyone who could be influenced by its power. "I'm taking it," Elias said, his voice firm. Dr. Blackwood didn't resist. He seemed resigned to his fate. "Be warned, Mr. Thorne. You cannot contain the music forever. The Old Ones, they sing to all who listen." Elias carefully took the music box and turned to leave. As he stepped out of the library, he noticed Silas standing silently in the corridor with his empty eyes fixed on him. "Leave Mr. Thorne," Silas said, his voice devoid of emotion, "before the sun finds you." Elias didn't reply. He hurried through the manor, ignoring the feeling of being watched, of being sung to. He emerged from the gates, the rain lashing against his face. He looked back at Blackwood Manor, a dark and brooding silhouette against the stormy sky. He secured the music box in his briefcase, a strange coldness emanating from it. As he walked away, he thought he heard a faint, ethereal melody carried on the wind, a song that seemed to reach deep into his soul. Back in his office, Elias placed the music box on his desk, intending to hand it over to Mr. Abernathy, but as he stared at it, he felt a strange compulsion. He wound it again. The music filled the room, a hauntingly beautiful melody that seemed to whisper secrets of the universe. And as he listened, Elias began to see things. Fleeting glimpses of alien landscapes, grotesque figures lurking in the shadows, a sense of being watched by something vast and ancient. He knew he shouldn't listen, that he should destroy the music box. But he couldn't stop himself. The song was too alluring, too mesmerizing. It promised knowledge, power, a glimpse beyond the veil of reality. As the melody reached its peak, Elias felt a searing pain in his head. He stumbled back, knocking over a stack of files. The room began to spin, and he saw a figure standing before him, a grotesque parody of a human being, its eyes burning with ancient, cosmic malice. "You have listened," the figure said, its voice a low, resonant rumble. "You are now part of the chorus." Elias screamed, but his voice was swallowed by the song. The music box wound down, leaving him alone in the darkness, a puppet in the hands of beings beyond human comprehension. He looked down at his hands. They were slowly changing, elongating, becoming something else. A faint, ethereal melody drifted from his lips, a song of the old ones, a song that would lure others to listen, to join the chorus, to become part of the symphony of cosmic horror. The rain outside his office window tasted of ash. The sun had begun. Weeks later, Mr. Abernathy received a single, anonymous package. Inside was a brief note of the music calls to all. "Do not answer." He looked up and saw his reflection in the window, a flicker of something alien in his eyes, a faint, ethereal melody playing on his lips.